G'day guys, my name's I Ride Daz. I'm out here with Mrs. I Ride Daz. I'm on the XVS 1100. She's on her Ninja 250R. And we've just had lunch at Meander Bridge Cafe, which was absolutely delicious. And if you're ever in this part of the world, really got to go and check out Meander Bridge Cafe. Friendliest staff, cheapest food, most delicious food. $6.50 for a burger. The two of us ate for $19.10. So the V-Star is going an absolute treat. And for the first time in my life, I've decided to name a bike. Whether it's going to stick, whether I'll use it, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I've decided to name the V-Star Izzy. Why Izzy, you ask? Because it sort of fits the obscurity of the bike, really. These bigger V-Stars are not particularly popular, hence why in the second-hand market they're so incredibly cheap and you get such an amazing bit of machinery for very little money. I would imagine most people do what I ended up doing. Well, they go through the sort of Japanese cruisers for lambs. So they get a 250, a 400 or a 650, something like that, for a beginner's bike, what we call in Australia a lamb's bike. And then as soon as they're capable, if they're still interested in cruisers, they jump up to a Harley, and that's exactly what I did. Forgetting about the bigger capacity Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki cruisers. So the bigger Japanese cruisers are often forgotten and overlooked. So with that in mind, I've called this bike Izzy, after the second guitarist, Izzy Stradlin, from the band Guns N' Roses. So everyone associates Guns N' Roses with Axl as the frontman and Slash as the lead guitarist, forgetting that there are other members. And Izzy Stradlin is a founding member of Guns N' Roses, incredibly talented guy. People forget that he wrote most of the songs, produced a lot of them, sort of only remembering Slash. So in my experience of Harley, it was a little bit like Slash. When it was on song, it was awesome, but it was unreliable. Often wouldn't take to the stage because it was broken down. It was just absolutely frustrating bike to own. But when it went, God, it went. It was awesome and it sounded amazing. So if I'm comparing Slash to a Harley, then I'm comparing the sort of reliability, dependability to Izzy Stradlin. Hence why I've called the bike Izzy. So you're probably thinking I'm overthinking it, and I probably am. but it's a cool bike, sounds amazing. And that's what I've ended up calling it. Things you think about when you buy yourself in your helmet time. So the guy that I bought this bike off, real nice guy. I found the bike on Gumtree a couple of months back, and it had one price on it, and even that was pretty cheap. It caught my attention, and then I made the bikes one of my favourites so that I could follow it. And then every couple of weeks or so he would drop the price on it. So last Thursday night was looking at Gumtree, and it had gone down again, and it was dirt cheap. And I spoke to Mrs. Taz, and she suggested we go and have a look at it. So I rang the guy, and we went over on Friday. It pretty much took one look at it, took it for a test ride, and bought it on the spot, knocking another 500 off it. So I got the bike for an absolute song. I pretty much stole it off this guy, in my opinion. So much bike for so little money. And it was a classic story. Everyone jokes about middle-aged professional guys buying cruisers and then not riding them, and that's exactly what happened. So the story goes, this guy was about 55 and a real estate agent, had his own real estate business in sort of one of the most fastest growing areas of Tasmania, in a place called Shearwater. And like a lot of guys, he had a bike when he was young, and after his kids left home, he wanted to get back into motorcycles. So he went with Stereotype 1 and bought himself an adventure bike. He bought himself a XT660Z 10RA and struggled to ride that because of injuries that he had, and I imagine a lot of it was potentially mental. They're a pretty tall bike, and it's a single, so it's pretty vibey. So after selling the 10RA, I call them 10RA, he sold that, and then he went for Stereotype number 2, and he bought himself a big cruiser. And in the 2 years he owned it, apparently he only did about 600k on it. Pretty much one tank of fuel. And again, he sort of struggled to ride it. It is a big bike, but he was a fairly tall dude. I wouldn't have thought physically he would have struggled. So it was more mental. Eventually he decided that it wasn't for him. He wasn't going to try and ride anymore, so he put it up for sale. And been nowhere near as desirable to a lot of people as something like a Harley that had been up for sale for a couple of months. So I'm looking forward to having some adventures on the bike, doing some modifications, bought it as a project. I'm having fun watching endless YouTube videos on different ways to do this, that and the next thing on an XVS 1100. And Mrs. Iride said this morning she can't believe I've had it a week. I haven't ripped it apart, I haven't ripped all the guards off it or anything yet. And I said it's basically only because I wanted to do a couple of videos with it stock. And she laughed, rolled her eyes, and then we went out on this ride. Absolutely amazing bike, very happy with it. The more I ride it, the more I love it. As we come down the back way into Mole Creek, great day for a ride, mid-autumn, and it's beautiful weather. I'll sign off there, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Releasing videos Tuesdays and Saturdays. If you could like, comment, subscribe, share the videos around, guys, that'd be awesome. My name's iRide. This is my channel, iRide Daz, and I am out for now.